Hi, everybody. It's Pat Love from EXP Realty. I'm here today with Tracey Lundell of Seaglass Wealth. We are
Okay.
both members of the Vancouver Seniors Service
Service
Experts.
experts.
And we're going to talk a bit about the real estate market and how Tracey's business can help some people out. So,
Absolutely.
Tracey, um, I was talking with Marcy Dean last week about mortgages and how people are struggling to buy houses right now.
Mhm.
And I will explain why people are struggling to buy houses right now. Uh, Currently, we have a very, very low inventory of property to buy. So, consequently, and we also have low interest rates. So, we've got a whole bunch of people wanting to buy very few houses.
Yes.
And what we're ending up in is massive, massive amounts of offers on houses and them selling for way over asking. And people are really struggling to do
Mhm.
something. And Marcy was saying, they go subject free and they
Yeah.
really shouldn't be going subject free because they don't have the funds. They actually have to get mortgages. So it's not really an all cash offer like it appears. So we're gonna address how maybe if you've got some family with some money tucked away somewhere, how maybe that could help in this circumstance. So take it away, Tracey.
Sure. So, I mean, one of the things that we get asked about a lot is when the next generation up wants to help with down payments. So, transferring money between generations, CRA tends to like to get their hooks in there and take their piece, but there are some ways around it. So, as long as you're not gifting actual assets, so you can't gift investments, um, because then CRA gets their nose in it for sure. But you can gift cash. So once it's in a checking account, then you are free to gift it without any tax consequences, which is kind of nice. But it has to just be in that cash format. But I also know on the lending side that you can't expect it back. Like it's truly a gift. So once you're giving that gift to that next generation down, it's not like it's a loan that needs repayment, because otherwise that kind of gets in the way of them being able to borrow. One of the other things that we, especially this time of year, as many people know, RSP season runs for the first 2 months of any calendar year. And this year, March 1st is the deadline. So a little public service announcement. If you need to get those RSP contributions in. But if you truly are a first-time home buyer, you can actually take $35,000 out of your RSP and use it as a down payment towards a home. But those funds need to be in there for at least 90 days before you're allowed to actually take it out and use it for that purpose. So this is an amazing time to kind of, well, it's not quite doubling down, but add a little extra to that down payment. So if there's a way for you to be able to contribute that 35,000 sometime between now and March 1st, let it stay in there for about 90 days. In that period of time, you should get a nice little tax deduction, because that's a pretty big contribution. So hopefully you'll get a tax refund, and now you've added to that down payment. So what was originally 35,000 is now 35,000 plus whatever your tax refund was. And 90 days from when you contribute, from that point on, now you can use that for a down payment, and it's more than just the original 35 that you had. So that's kind of a new year kind of thing. It's a first couple of months of the year sort of thing. If you did it in November, you're going to have to wait till next April to do your tax return to get that extra little bump. But the timing is perfect right now for this sort of activity. So that was the thing I wanted to share, just in case you had any first-time home buyers that are looking to kind of enhance their down payment.
Yeah, no, that's really good advice because there's, not everybody knows that. And
No,
that it's sort of time sensitive as well.
kind of, yeah. March 1st. March 1st is the deadline. So yeah,
So yeah, so let's talk about, maybe getting more money. Do you have very
exactly.
many people who are able to help out, substantially that are willing to? Because I mean, I guess they want to see their children enjoy the money
Yeah.
before they go.
And yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because I think people put a lot of planning into the estate planning side of things, and people are living an awfully long time these days, which is wonderful, and that's what you kind of want. But it feels so much nicer when you can actually see the benefits of those funds when you're gifting them. So, I mean, I guess the biggest thing to think of if you're on the gifting side, so you're the parents gifting the funds, is that it truly is part of that extra money that you'd already set aside that was going to end up going to your family members anyways. You don't really want to eat into your nest egg or retirement savings because you don't know what your own situation is going to be. You might need to keep some of that money aside, but if you know for a fact that that's going to go to those kids, there is no reason not to gift that now. It's just how you gift it. Making sure that you stay within the guidelines for CRA is important, but it can be larger sums of money, and then you can see the benefit now while you're alive and enjoy that and see your kids kind of moving on to that next stage of, well, I'd say financial freedom. The mortgage will keep them in there for a little while, but it's them building their own net worth going forward as well. So
Well, to use the money to be, yeah, benefiting someone other than having it just sit there, because I mean, yes, of course you've got it invested in there making tons of money on it, but I mean, yeah,
well, exactly.
it's all about quality of life for your family, really. So,
Well, it is. Yeah.
this isn't maybe your area of expertise, but say, a wealthy relative, gifted me enough to buy an apartment.
Hmm.
Does the money have to be sitting somewhere for a longer period of time there, or they can just use it right away?
As long as, again, as long as it's in cash, then they can gift that portion. So they're basically just writing you a check or sending you the cash. Once you have that cash as the receiver of the gift, then it's kind of up to you what you do. But if you turned around and then said, you know what, 35,000 of that I'm going to put in my RSP, well, now you're subject to those guidelines
Yeah.
before you can touch it again. And you can put it into investments after that stage of the game. But if you do need to use it, I would just caution, there's been a lot of interesting activity with individual investors, well, getting into the stock market and things like that. If you need these funds soon, don't get involved in that. It's just markets can go up and down. And yes, I know they've been going up for an awfully long time for the most part. But like if you're going to need these funds shortly, that's just not a place you want to put it, because you could potentially risk not getting it back in the time that you need it for when you have a down payment. So keep it liquid. If you're shopping, especially Pat, like you need to have the flexibility, I would imagine, as a realtor, for clients to be able to throw that down payment or the deposit down pretty quickly. And if it's fully invested in the stock market, you don't know necessarily what's going on
No.
with
And
markets, and
people are,
it'll take time.
yeah,
Mhm.
and when they are in multiple offers, to strengthen your offer, they want to see a bank draft along with the offer. uh,
Yeah, exactly.
just
So
to
it can't be an invested form. They don't want to see your bank statement.
No.
They want to see the actual money
Yeah.
in a draft format, because then
Yep.
they know for sure that you've got it. So
Exactly.
yeah, that's what I
Okay.
would say. That's what I would say about that.
Well, that's good information to have. And is there
Mhm.
anything you want to ask me about the real estate market before we finish up?
Oh my goodness. Well, just that, I mean, I only hear kind of secondarily, we do get some real estate reports, but not being in the industry itself. Um, the situation between kind of condos versus townhouses versus homes that have, what are they, single family dwellings?
Mhm.
What's going, like, is it different, or is the condo market equally as crazy as everything else?
Now, that's funny. So 2016,
Hmm.
we saw, we saw it happen with houses first and then townhouses and then condos.
Hmm.
And really, it seems to be happening that way again. I didn't, it was just single family houses, mostly pandemic. People wanted land, people wanted houses, they wanted to get out of condos. And I had that experience in downtown Vancouver. Everybody was fleeing the city, and I had a listing there, and it was, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
And,
risky.
come January 1st, it seems to have been, it's changing. It's changing.
Okay.
So we're seeing townhouses, and it's of a certain price range, as you probably know, with the mortgage rules and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's of a certain price range. Everybody wants to try to keep it under a million with the attached properties,
Yeah.
townhouses and condos. But so those prices, like condos in the 700 range, they're really, flying off the shelf. And
Yeah.
townhouses that are just nicking a million, just
Mhm.
about a million, same thing, they're going in multiple offers like crazy. So
Wow.
that's what's happening right now with the market, but it is all low inventory driven. and
Yeah,
and I'm hoping and praying, because balance is best, that
it
we
is.
have way more listings come in the next 2 months, because it's very disappointing for people, because they do want to continue on with their lives. And
Mhm. And
it
take
was,
advantage of these low rates too,
yeah,
right? Like, I
yeah,
mean, there's a reason, I know there's a reason for all the activity. Are developers still developing? Are there
yeah,
new
yeah, they are,
places coming? Okay, good. Mhm.
because they'll back off now, because they won't be able to snafu cheap product now, because there's
Mhm.
just too many people driving the prices up. But
Yeah.
and that's what happened, is they, on the ramp up, like, developers are smart. You buy when developers buy. You don't buy
Yeah.
when everybody else buys.
Mhm.
But apparently people aren't like that. They like to
Well,
buy when everybody else buys. But anyway, so that's our little snippet of information
yeah.
between Tracy and I. And thank you for listening. And once again, you can check out our seniors group, the Vancouver Seniors Service Experts.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's shorter, but it doesn't seem shorter of a
I
name.
know. It doesn't trip off the tongue quite as easily.
No. Okay. Well, thank you, Tracy. I appreciate your
Thanks,
time
Pat.
today.
Yeah. Good. Thanks very much. We'll talk soon.